Welcome to Golden Nuggets, where truth and wisdom get married and bring forth enlightenment. In life, a struggle is needed for maturity to be completed. And every once in a while, when it comes in a package that we don't like, we often tend to fight against it. And today, right now, is your opportunity to face and embrace your challenge. I am Ezra, A.K.A. the voice of reason. Over and out.
Welcome to another edition of Golden Nuggets. And today we're going to be looking at an interesting topic entitled The Struggle is Needed. And so today we're going to be really focusing on something that's really important for you to digest and really understand and take heed of today, because there's no greater time than right now to understand why the struggle is needed. And so, first of all, before we even look at the struggle, we need to understand about the difference between blessings and challenges. And so, when we're thinking about something that is a blessing, it's a gift. It's something that makes us feel happy. We feel joyful. It brings peace. If someone gives you a present, especially out of the blue, you're thankful for that. You have gratitude. You appreciate it. If someone gives you, money, especially in a time when you're in need, that's a real blessing. It brings joy to the heart, peace to the mind. And if someone gives you a really big gift, like a car or something like that, you're blown away. It feels good. It's wonderful. All of us love blessings. But there's one thing that blessings doesn't do. And this is the reason why the struggle is needed. Because the blessings does not build character. And no matter how much blessings you get, it doesn't develop your character. That can only come through struggles. And that's why a struggle is needed for maturity to be completed. It's the character building that makes us be able to excel and grow in life. It's the character building that builds success, that enabled us to be able to weather the storm, deal with situations, address problems, manage obstacles that come our way. And so it's really important that we understand the difference between the two, because the human nature and psyche says and operates in a way that we avoid pain and go towards pleasure. And so by default, within our minds, we naturally want to avoid pain. We want to avoid the struggle, the situation that challenges us and pushes us out of our comfort zone. But we need to go to that place in order to build character. Because resilience, perseverance, strength, and growth, all of these things don't come out of a blessing. They come out of the challenge. They come out of the struggle. They come out of the difficulty. And so it's important that we recognize and understand with whatever it is you are facing today, right now, whether it's internal, whether it's family issues, whether it's financial issues, whether it's mental issues, whatever it is that you are facing, whether it's problems in your workplace, problems in your business, problems in your health, it's important that you understand that this struggle that you are facing right now is the very thing that will push you to the next level in your life. Because just like diamonds, without the heat and without the pressure, they will just be bits of dust. They'll look very old and no one would have any interest in them. But it's after they've gone through the process of fire, intense heat, struggles, and then after they're pushed and crushed. And sometimes when we are in situations, it feels like we're being crushed, but you're being made into a diamond. You're being formed and shaped into that character that will build success, that character that will make you be able to endure and stand and overcome situations. And so it's important that today, with whatever it is you are facing, is that you recognize that it is your character building moment. And so the challenge, as they define us and refine us, is what we understand how we grow, how we get to the next level, how we become stronger, more resilient, more knowledgeable, more patient, have more strength, more character. All of these things can only come through the challenge, not through the blessing. And in some ways, the challenge is the blessing, but we have to go through it first to see when we come out the other end how much it really helped us. And so I want you to understand and start to recognize that the difficulties and the problems and the troubles and the issues and the things that challenge you, they're all like a sharpener. A sharpener has a very specific purpose. Okay? A sharpener is there to sharpen a tool. And in the case of a sharpener, it's a pencil. And you are the pencil. I am the pencil. And so these difficulties, these problems, these troubles, these issues, these trials, they are there to sharpen us. Because if we remain blunt, then we are of no good and no use to anyone. We can't be used to write our future and our destiny. We can't be used to help and inform and direct and encourage others. And so we have to willingly go into the sharpener. Because if we don't, and we remain unsharpened, we are staying in our comfort zone where there's no growth, where there's no change, where there's no development, where there's no character, when we're constantly reacting rather than responding. And so we have to be willing to go through that process, to put ourselves into those situations, to face them head on, to deal with those difficulties so that we can grow in character, in resilience, and in strength. And so, what is it today that you are avoiding going into the sharpener to face? What situation is it today that is holding you over a barrel? What problems are you experiencing that you're refusing to address? What situations have been going on for so long and you know you should be paying attention to them, you should be addressing them, you should be going forward and putting yourself into the sharpener of that situation that you've delayed and procrastinated and stopped yourself from being able to grow from. Today is the day. Make that choice. Today is the day to face that challenge. Today is the day to overcome that obstacle. What are you going to go and do with it? What are you going to do with it today? Are you going to continue to stay blunt, no use and no value? Or are you going to put yourself through this process so you can be sharp? As the saying says, iron sharpeneth iron. And so I want to encourage you today. You are stronger than you know. You are greater than you think. You can overcome this situation. You just need to start to believe in yourself. You need to start to think positive things about yourself. You need to start to say affirmations about yourself. Because where the mind goes, the energy flows. But we have to understand that struggle is growth needed. Struggle is growth needed. We need the struggle to enable us to grow. Because what doesn't challenge us doesn't change us. There is many things in my life and probably in your life that you didn't want to go through. But as a result of going through it, it changed you for the better. It enabled you to see things from a different way. It pushed you out of your comfort zone so that you could experience some of the things that you now see as a blessing when you look back. Struggle is growth needed. Stop avoiding the sharpener. Stop procrastinating with those things that you need to do because they are the catalysts to get you to that next level. And anyone that you see and are inspired by, anyone that you look to as a role model, just know and understand they had to go through this same process. And as the saying says, every champion was once a contender that refused to give up. Don't give up when the next hurdle comes your way. Don't give up when the sharpener comes your way. Struggle is growth needed. And so when these difficult times come, when the storms come, when the trials and the tribulations come, with the very one that you are facing right now, flexibility is compulsory. We have to be able to adapt. We have to be able to change our game plan. We have to be able to look at things from a different mindset. We have to be able to do different things when we realize the way that we were previously working or operating is no longer effective. Because if we keep doing the same thing and expecting something to change when it isn't working, that is the definition of insanity. And so we have to be flexible. We have to be able to bend and adapt and maneuver. Because there is only one thing in nature that can withstand a hurricane, a tornado, or terrestrial storms. And that thing is the palm tree. And the only reason why it's able to withstand it is because of its flexibility as it bends and flexes in the wind while remaining rooted deeply in the ground. And so when the storms come, when the tornadoes and the terrestrial storms come in your life, whether it be COVID-19, whether it be a family situation, whether it be problems in your workplace, whether it be a health problem, the only way that you can withstand that is by flexibility, being able to adapt and maneuver, operating out of the circle of influence, recognizing that in the midst of this storm, in the midst of this situation, right, what can I do to make it the best outcome? How can I manage this? What do I have the ability to do? Rather than looking at things from the circle of concern. This is impossible. This is too hard. This is very difficult. What am I going to do? And so it's really important that you develop the art of flexibility, being able to adapt, being able to maneuver, being able to withstand the storms. And we must all do the same by remaining rooted in what is valuable to us. And that is key. What's valuable to the palm tree is the ground that it was birthed in. And it's the very values that you've been birthed in. It's the very principles that you hold dear to you. Those are the things that you need to remain rooted in so that you can stand the storm. And in that, being rooted in that, whatever it is for you, whether it's integrity, whether it's patience, whether it's, showing or giving people an example to lead by, whatever your value is, you need to be rooted in that and be flexible about how you move forwards. And it's in doing that that you can overcome the storm. It's in doing that that you will get through the battle. It's in doing that that you will, the outcome will be victorious for you. And so flexibility in the midst of your situation, but being grounded and rooted in your values, your morals, and your principles is key. And flexibility starts in the mind. This is very important. It starts in the mind because all battles are won and lost in the mind first. And so, what is your thought processes? How do you look at and view situations? When you're in a difficult situation or a challenging situation, what goes through your mind? What's the narrative that you tell yourself? How do you look at yourself in that situation and your ability to enable you to get through it? Very important. Do you see things as a challenge or something that's impossible? When something isn't going according to plan, is it a setback or a disaster for you? And when there is something that you're inexperienced in, do you look at it as you're powerless and that you can't do anything? All of these things are really important to how you manage and deal with struggles that you face in your life. Because you can have a fixed program based on the past, looking at all the things you've done wrong, all the mistakes that you made, all the things that didn't work out. And so you stay stuck in that mindset. And you believe that gifts is either something you have or you don't have. You look at things and say, well, this happened last time, so this is obviously going to happen next time I do it. And that stops you from going forwards. That stops you from being flexible. That stops you from being willing to try again, because you're looking at the failure and the past mistakes, and it has become your prison sentence. You have a fixed mindset riddled with limiting beliefs. Or you can operate out of a new program which focuses on the future, that says that you have the ability to grow and develop. So whenever you're looking at something that you're not right there, you always add yet to it. I can't do this yet. I'm not strong enough yet. I don't know the answers yet. Because this is the mindset that you need to enable you to put yourself into the sharpener and to turn and twist, knowing that in the end, this is going to work out, knowing that this is all for your better so that your future will be greater than your present. We need to have a flexible mind to be able to look past the pain of the present to see the purpose and the pleasure in the future. Flexibility starts in your mind. And we have to know that thoughts are us. Our lives is a result of the thoughts that we are constantly thinking. Einstein said it himself, that imagination is the precursor of all future events. So whatever you are thinking about yourself, whatever thoughts are going on in your head, you are actually determining your future by those thoughts. You have the power through your mind to create the reality that you want in your life. And if we look at it from a neuroplasticity point of view, you are strengthening certain neurons and building up those neurons in your mind by the things that you think. And then you are now strengthening a pathway that you are going to operate out of. So you have to be very careful of the thoughts you entertain. Because as I said before, the average human being experiences 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those are rumination. What are you ruminating on? Is it your potential, your power, your ability, your strengths, your skills, your assets? Or is it your fears, your worries, your anxieties, what you can't do, the mistakes you made in your past, how you see yourself from a limited mindset and possibility? Thoughts are us. Your thoughts determine your feelings determine your actions and your behaviors. And so it all starts in the mind. What is the narrative that you have for yourself? What is the narrative you have for your future? What is the narrative you have for your health? What is the narrative you have about your finances? What is the narrative you have about your relationships? These things are key because they are the starting of whatever comes afterwards. So I encourage you, get to know yourself, get to understand your thoughts, because in doing so, you will empower your life. Thoughts are us, and thoughts create things. And so, in terms of dealing with, managing with, and overcoming the struggles that is needed in our life, we need to have resilience. We need to have bounce back ability. We need to be able to overcome and manage these situations as we grow through the muscle of resilience. And so, first of all, when we're thinking about resilience, the basics is being able to cope and manage with crisis situations and get back to a place of stability as soon as possible. And so In able to do that, we have to go back to the flexibility. How do we manage and cope? How do we deal with that situation that wasn't planned, that came up out of the blue? How do we deal with that? It's also about having a sense of belonging, meaning knowing where you fit in your life, in your relationships, in your family, in your business, in your workplace, and having connections. No man and no woman is an island. We need to be supported. We need to have support networks in place. We need to have people that we can call upon and rely upon when we are feeling down, because we're not always going to be up. And in those times where we need that support, we need to have a sense of belonging, someone that can give us that support, that word of advice, that comfort, that strengthening. It's also about your core self. It's about, how do you see yourself? What is the foundation of who you are? What is your identity? Who are you? What are your strengths? You know, everyone can tell us about what's wrong with them. Anyone can say about what is the problems and the areas where they need to develop. But what is your core self? What's the strength? What's the foundation of who you are? What's your identity? What's your why? What gets you up each morning? What drives you to do what you do? Your core self, your values, your principles, the things that you stand by. What are they? You need to know them. This is what helps you to have resilience. And it's about learning. Resilience is about learning every day, with every struggle, with every challenge, with every situation. It's a learning, it's a growing, it's finding a different way of doing things. It's learning another way, another option in order for you to get that success. Resilience is about learning, because none of us are born with it. It's a muscle that grows and develops with every challenge you choose to face. And then it's about coping skills, coping mechanisms, coping techniques. And I'll add the precursor to that, positive coping skills and techniques. So, what are those positive things that you do to boost your resilience? What are the ways that you look after yourself? What are the mechanisms that you put in place to build yourself up? What are the affirmations you're saying to yourself? What are the things that you are doing? Are you operating out of mindfulness? Do you use meditation? What are the systems that you've put in place? Is it prayer? Is it taking a moment to reflect? Is it having aromatherapy? What are the things you're doing to boost your resilience? What are the things you're doing to help yourself? How do you pour into your jug to ensure that it stays up and full? And so these are the key principles to enable us to boost and develop our resilience. If you are not doing them, your resilience will be impacted by it. And then the next time where you have to face a struggle, a difficulty, a challenge, with that very challenge you may be facing right now, it gives you more chance of avoiding the sharpener than going into it. And so remember and understand, it is the stamina of not quitting that gets people to the end. It's having the stamina to not quit. People quit all the time. People quit several times a day. People get to a certain level and say enough is enough. But it's having the stamina to not quit that will get you to the end. Because whatever you do often enough, you become good at. So there's some people who are excellent at quitting. There are some people who are excellent at procrastinating. There are some people who are excellent at finding a problem to every solution. Don't be one of those. Be one of those who are excellent at operating out of resilience, excellent at giving things another go, excellent at operating through flexibility to navigate through any situation that comes your way. And as Jesse Jackson once said, both tears and sweat are salty, but they render a different result. You see, tears will get you sympathy, but sweat will get you change. And so any excuse that we want to give to why we're staying the same is valid. It's valid. Like, your reason is your reason. Your frame of reference is your frame of reference. But the reasons you give to why you continued bring a completely different result as to the reasons why you quit. And our life is a reflection of what we think, what we say, and what we do. And so I want to encourage you to continue to push through. Whether you need to walk or crawl forwards, do it, but don't give up. Put yourself in that sharpener. Recognize and understand that although it's difficult in this moment, the sun will rise again. And as it does, your strength as you push through this situation will manifest itself. So whenever you are going through that struggle, don't allow it to keep you bound, but recognize when we go through the struggle, we grow through the struggle. And so in your situation and circumstance, don't see yourself as a victim. Know and understand what is happening. You are going through the process of becoming a diamond. Tell yourself that. Remind yourself that. Speak it into the airways. When you're going through your difficult situation, don't say, why me? Say, I am thankful that I am going to be a beautiful diamond. This pressure and this heat is only for my purpose. It's only for my strengthening. It's only so that my maturity will be completed. And if you carry on and push through, I guarantee you, you will shine. And people will be gravitated to the light in you because they will know and understand there is something different about you. So please, in whatever you are facing today, be encouraged and know the struggle is needed. And so if you found this useful, I encourage you to look on my YouTube channel because there's loads of motivational videos like this one to inspire you in specific areas as we unlock insight.
Thank you for watching this video. Did you find it helpful? Leave a comment and let me know what you took from this. And share this video with the loved one or friend that you know will benefit from this. And if you like the video, check out my channel for many other videos dedicated to supporting and empowering you, including the video below. And remember to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, for this is me calling you for our next one-to-one. So stay blessed, remain grateful, and manifest your greatness.